Martha Davis from the Motels, and you're listening to Brigade-Radio-One.
You're listening to Brigade-Radio-One. Hey everyone, it's Ethan with Brigade-Radio-One. We have left our secret bunker on the back lot of the Universal Studios complex to come out for a very secret, top secret, yet epic assignment. We're backstage at the Canyon in Valencia getting ready for what could be the show of the century. Nancy Wilson getting ready to take the stage. Obviously, people know the awesome, but how are you, Nancy, to start?
Well, beyond awesome, I'm just feeling wonderful.
Do you get up in the morning and be like, man, I'm Nancy fucking Wilson, man? It's like, do you make your own coffee? Do you get your own groceries? I mean, how does that work with someone like you?
I go shopping at Ralph's. Oh yeah, when I'm not like done up or gussied up,
Yeah.
And I just walking around with my husband Jeff, and we just go to the store and drive around.
You have everyday people problems.
We have our dogs. We have to clean up after everybody else. We do dishes. We cook a lot. Do dishes a lot. So we're pretty regular folks, but the weird thing about me is, like, I've never had an actual real job besides music, which is a real job, but I've never done any other work besides music since I was a kid. So, did school and stuff, but yeah, it's just what I know how to do. So I never kind of wake up and go, is that who I really am?
Right. No, I had an embarrassing moment this morning when I actually pointed at our Starbucks barista and I told my daughter, I said, this guy's actually got more skills than me. In terms of in entertainment, it's a roll of the dice.
So do you make your own coffee?
I try to. I call it coffee, but it depends who's drinking it. So walk the audience through what's about to happen tonight. You've obviously are a landmark talent.
Thank you.
We heard the sound check actually, which was phenomenal. Now, this is like a combo outfit of epic artists that you've surrounded yourself with, right?
Yes.
And is this like a permanent thing, or is this like a now thing?
No,
How does this work?
This one's going to go. I mean, there's a lot of speculation about Heart next summer too.
Yeah.
But this is my prize band. I love this band, and even if Heart goes out, we're going to keep going out with me and Roadcase Royale,
Right.
because Liv Warfield is a force of nature. Her energy, her kick-ass soul, and her instincts, because she grew up around Prince, and so did her guitar player Ryan Waters. They were both working with Prince right before. So, and my other three guys are from Heart. So
who are the three?
It's Dan Rothschild on bass, Ben Smith on drums, and Chris Joyner on keys.
Yeah, because, every once in a while I talk with Mark Andes, and I think he's expecting a phone call, Nancy.
Yeah.
Just throwing that out there. But so, is this kind of thing easy? Like, does this thing just automatically click with musicians, or did you have to do like a recruiting process to put this unit together, or did it just happen one night?
Well, we had invited Liv and Ryan with their band to open for us at the Hollywood Bowl for Heart, at the Hollywood Bowl for 2 nights a couple of years back, and because I'd seen her on Jimmy Fallon, it was just like, who is that?
Yeah.
And she's just her power is just out of this world. So then we hit it off, and we started going, well, Anne's doing this other project, so why don't we talk about what we could do? And she's like, I love the R&B, but I kind of want to rock more. And I said, well, I rock a lot, but I love R&B too. So, we got together, we started making our own sound as a 6-piece, and wrote an album called First Things First, almost right out of the box, which we're very proud of. And you'll hear a bunch of those songs at the show, and also some Heart stuff.
Well, I'd like to put some of that stuff in rotation so our audience can get a sense of what we witnessed out there.
Yeah.
But I was totally blown away. I have a couple of quick questions. I know you're about to take the stage, and we are backstage for the craziness that you might be hearing in the background. But you lied on your resume. Obviously, you were too young to have opened for Rod Stewart. But let's just say hypothetically you did open for Rod Stewart.
I was 3.
Yeah. What was that experience like? Was that like?
That was one of the big oh wow experiences of our careers ever. It's in the book too. that we wrote about that, because Kicking and Dreaming it's called. But we just were fired from a really cheesy Canadian dinner club, kind of a disco club, where we couldn't swear on stage. We had to dress accordingly and no chewing gum and whatever. We got fired because we were inappropriate, because that's a very rock thing to do.
Right.
And same night we got the call from Rod Stewart to come open for him in Montreal. So we took the train across country, with a viewing car and under the stars. It was like, oh my God, we're opening this is the biggest break we'd ever had.
Yeah.
And we just had made our album, and it was just kind of sneaking out there on the radio. And they knew it in Montreal first, and so we got on the big stage, and they were lighting their lighters because they recognized our song, because it was a brand new album.
Wow.
Yeah. So it's like 1975, I guess.
That's hard to believe, actually.
Yeah, right? It was just one of those, like, you'd never would ever forget that feeling.
Was that a crazy time with Rod Stewart? Was that kind of crazy? I mean, so much as you were able to disclose.
Well, we were just in shock because things were escalating for us really quickly.
Yeah.
And, all over the place, there were starting to be awards and all these other big rock stars, and then there was Studio 54 and all that stuff was going on. And we were kind of like, whoa, we're just from Seattle. We don't even know how to do this stuff. We were kind of fresh-faced, apple-cheeked Seattle girls.
Yeah.
But, we didn't mind, having all the adulation and getting all the attention, but it was like whiplash. It was like cultural whiplash.
Who comes up, or who came up with all your album titles? Because they all have this distinct sort of artistic, like Passion Works or Brigade.
Yeah.
Or, who did, is that you that did a lot of that?
Well, me and Ann,
Yeah.
We do that a lot. We do the songwriting for the most part and come up with titles and concepts and, yeah.
Can you walk me through the experience of what it's like to get into the Hall of Fame? Like, does that happen with a phone call? How does that work?
Well, it took a couple of years, for one thing, which I guess, for a lot of people was short. But, we did kind of make we did try to lobby for it a little bit, because we had galleys of the book, and we put together box sets and packages and sent them out to relevant people, like the people at Rolling Stone and
Right.
like people, a lot of the big players in the music industry that Jeff knew and I knew, and so we made a long list of people and sent them very special packages. And I think we greased it in a little bit.
That's smart, though. I mean, that's what they do every time the Academy Awards come around.
Well, that's what everybody, I guess that's the standard, but
Yeah.
never would have thought of it before, until it was kind of like, hey, wait a minute, isn't that how this business works?
I mean, but what ultimately, do they give you a phone call and say you're in, or how does that part of it work? Or
Oh yeah, I got a call from Jan Wenner, who was the editor of Rolling Stone and an old friend, and he was like, Nancy, I just had to tell you in person, you're on the list, and so, looks like you're gonna get it or something, and then we heard it was it came out in the press
Right.
after that.
So your response to Jan is like, about time. Or,
Well, no, I've always been a big fan of him and his writing and his magazine, but and he was depicted in a couple of Cameron Crowe films as well. So, he's one of those heavy hitters
Yeah.
that you love and respect.
Right.
But you're not like gonna invite him over for dinner.
Right. Of course.
Either,
So when you get this thing, or they say it's definitive, then what do you have to do? Like, you have to start putting together the list, the guest
Then
list.
you have to
what you're going to play.
who's going to be in the band, because the original lineup is always required.
Was that
supposedly
hard?
to be. Oh, we, out of respect for those guys, we agreed to it, of course, but it was not easy for us. Kind of, because we were so happy with our current band at the
Right.
time. So what we did was a mixture of both. We did a song with the original guys, and then we did another song or two with the new guys.
That's what Axl
We
Rose
mixed
proposed.
it up. Yeah.
Because I was on the epicenter for that
Really?
and he ultimately boycotted. He wanted to do exactly that.
Yeah.
And for some reason, they wouldn't let them.
I
so
don't know
you were
why.
able to do that. You're like, okay, we're going to do one song with the original lineup.
Well, the lineup we had then was together longer than the original lineup. So we'd played more shows and we'd shown our faces, made more albums than the original guys. But maybe that's why. There's probably some, statuette that they, want you to do.
Now, you get it all together. You feel pretty good about it when you're on stage and it's done and you feel like, okay, this worked? Or
Yeah, it was nerve-wracking, not as much as the Kennedy Center Honors was.
Right.
With, Led Zeppelin and God and the president watching. But anyway, but we just we had a rehearsal and everybody was like, scared to see each other again. And
really?
There were relationships, back then in the band. And so kind of in a Fleetwood Mac way, which was not a very smart idea, but we were young, so we didn't know. And then we just got through it, and it was fine. They were kind of pissed off at us, and then they weren't, because they realized we were respectful to them.
I love that you say in a Fleetwood Mac kind of way, which is code for circus or clown car of crazy possible. It's like I see so many of those things where the artists have to kind of, I don't think the average fan understands the complexities of what the working relationship could be. But it's always admirable when people can put aside their differences, even for one night or one song.
Well, that is the classic situation in most rock bands, if not almost all rock bands. Like, one of the reasons I love playing with Roadcase Royale so much is that we are tight as a little rock family, and everybody's supportive, and there's no ego tripping, which, is really refreshing and great. So, but yeah, I mean, it's just, it's a price of an education. And you get really highest highs, and lowest lows together.
So you have nothing to prove, right? You've basically made a definitive statement musically that I doubt will be surpassed. But do you look ahead with this band and go, okay, I know what I want to do for the next album, or I know what I want to do for the next tour, or I know...
Well, we were just talking about how fun it would be to just play all the canyon clubs.
Yeah.
Just go up down the coast and... Well,
why don't you?
The West Coast, and just do like a run of these clubs, because they're really fun. They're,
they're comfortable.
They're comfortable. They're intimate enough, but they're not little, tiny clubs either. So it's really fun. It's convenient. And we could drive most everywhere.
Right.
Well,
excuse me, do you live in Los Angeles? So is this like an easy...
Yeah, outside of L.A.,
okay,
the west side.
Right,
yeah.
Okay. So this is like home turf for you,
this is I'm a West Coast girl from way back. Yeah.
Oh, nice.
We lived in Camp Pendleton growing up with the Marine Corps, and,
there's some stories there, I'm
sure.
sure.
Seattle, of course. We moved to, settled in Seattle. So...
All right, so for tonight, people are going to have a chance to see something actually pretty special. Like I said, we witnessed the sound check, and I was blown away. And we'll put some of the music in rotation so everyone can get a sense of what I'm talking about.
Yes.
But is there like a website for this band where people listening to this can actually source it out, and the music and stuff?
The website is Roadcase. Hey, Chip, the website is roadcaseroyale.com. That's right.
Right?
Just, double checking that.
No, you should.
And just, go on our website, check us out, where we're going to be, what the next moves we make. But yeah, it's a lot of fun, and I think, we'd love to make more music, more new music, and, keep it going.
Okay, if you could resurrect any 3 rock and roll legends from the dead to play with, who are the 3 you pick?
Well, Tom Petty, Chris Cornell, and probably Leonard Cohen, maybe.
Leonard Cohen.
Or, there are all these guys we just lost. I mean, you can't pick it, really.
All right. Well, we've had the privilege of talking to you. I know you're about to take the stage, and we should everyone should buckle up because it's going to be a hell of a show.
Oh, there's a special song we worked up for tonight,
which
by
is
request.
Are you really?
Yes, it's from the film Almost Famous that I worked on, and it's a song called "Fever Dog" from the film that was written. I helped write for the fictitious band in Almost Famous, the Stillwater band in Almost Famous.
Right.
So it's a one of a kind version of the rarity Fever Dog that we're playing tonight.
Nice. All right, everyone. We're going to put the music in rotation. We'll be back at Universal tomorrow, and we'll light it up musically. In the meantime, we'll put up some website information so you can follow Nancy Wilson and this new band and the project and get your tickets and music ASAP. Thank you for joining us. We'll be back tomorrow.
Thank you so much.
Thank you. You better subscribe to this channel before you look uncool.